good evening everyone and welcome back. We are back for Monday's GT3 MPG. I'm Ben Brown and today, as ever, is Mr. Ben Myatt. Hello Ben.
Good evening. Yes, back once again with the ill behaviour to see. That's a dated reference to see a load of GT3 machinery hoot it around some of our favourite tracks.
Yeah, so it is round three. We're at Monza. Last week we were at Interlagos with Athol Bascar winning the race, and then the first round was at Kota when we had Christian Kiesig with the one stop strategy. Last week was a bit of rain thrown in. This week we are fully dry, and we are expecting. We're kind of expecting to. Pit stops, aren't we?
Yeah, somehow I don't think anyone's going to be able to fuel save for a one-stop this week. Looking at the current readouts on some of the dashes, you're getting about 5, maybe 6 laps out of a 50% fill, so 12 laps total for a full tank. So it's going to be very much go as fast as you can for the entire race.
Yeah, and talking of going as fast as you can, our race one winner, Christian Kiesig, at the moment is in pole position. Sorry, as ever on Mondays. I think it's my fault. I'm slack, and we've missed most of qualifying again, so I do apologise. But at the minute, it's Kiesig leading Bevan with Dave Wood just moving up to second. What is this, Ben? What's he doing after being in the commentary booth last week?
He's desperate for a comeback. Still a few people out on track. There's some fast ones as well. Chris Downing still is trying to improve. Alfie Bevan and Dave Woods both heading to the pits though, and Bascar trying to improve, just coming around the Parabolica.
Yeah, so Bascar's on a lap, and he has got a couple of purple sectors showing, and he does go 0.2 quicker. So, wow, he's really built up that gap then. It was near as makes no difference, half a second in the lead, which is a bit daunting, I think, for everyone else. As Bascar's stopped on track. I'm not sure if we do have anyone else going round. We've got a couple towards the back. But yeah, that is a really good lap time from Kiesig then to really put the marker down before the race of, yep, I've got half a second in hand against you boys.
Absolutely. And we've not really seen Christian's overall pace come out, I don't think, because he's been very, very good at playing the long game and fuel saving for the first 2 races. So he's probably looking forward to being able to open up the taps on this one.
Yeah, I think because it's Monza with so much full throttle, as you said, Ben, it's really going to be a 2-stop race. Now, whether some people think that they can save a bit of time in the stops by saving a bit of fuel going in the car is one thing, but I don't think we'll be seeing someone trying to to save an entire stop, because we just don't think it's possible around here.
How much is it going to be worth trying to save a little bit of time in the fuel stops by backing off around this lap? It's most of the lap is full throttle.
Teams and drivers go to
if you don't push all the time, you're just going to be losing time to people around you.
Yeah, it's very difficult because, as you say, what are you actually going to gain out of it? It's very difficult to tell. But here's our qualifying results. Christian Kiesig on pole, as we've just been talking about, with Dave Wood second on the grid. Alfie Bevan, another solid outlet. Well, it's actually he's up towards the front again. He's been a bit further back onto the qualifying session so far this season, and he's back where we would expect him, up in 3rd position. Chris Downing is in 4th position, another solid effort from him. Matt Townsend in 5th. David Francesconi up in 6th, great qualifying for him, and as well with Dan as well. Dan Tomlinson up in 7th after a couple of. He's had good race pace, but he's been struggling a bit with the qualifying, up in 7th. Athol then only in 8th, Elvin in 9th, and Andy with a really good time as well to be in 10th. So we've got a couple of definitely been mixed up a little bit in the top 10. Amadeo Pigioni in 11th, Fran Doric in 12th, Florian Browers, Hovset Nazarian up in 14th, good qualifying for him. Zach slipped down a bit today, but well, actually, to be fair, it's been his race pace which has been quick rather than his qualifying pace. He's in 15th, Petr Jelinek in 16th, Max Farrell, Anton Temenga. We should expect Temenga to be moving up quite well from 18th. Charlie Morgan, Fabio Gallardo, that's your top 20. And then we get into the others, let's say, 21st to 28th is relevant here. Dave Spiller, Johnny Ashley making his first start of the season. Christopher Bell, we'd expect him to move forward. He's also moved over to Mercedes, which is great, because I did say last week, I figured he would. Nick Manders in 24th, Matthias Fusigan, Christian Slink, both also in the Mercedes. Olaf Badej, and then 28th on the grid was Dean Smith. The others are non-starters.
I thought we had James Cowley on the grid, but perhaps not, as it turns out.
Well, let's see if he is here. It's come through as a 0, which means LMU does a funny thing where sometimes it pulls through some people that aren't racing. But never mind, let's go. We'll see very shortly if there's anybody starting from the pits. Kiesig on the left in the black and green Porsche. Dave Wood on the right, that was the right in the blue Monster Mango Loco car. We've got, is that Downing having a look up the inside of Kiesig? Very forceful move. His brake moved and go a lot under the braking as well. I'm not sure Christian's going to be particularly pleased with that, but Downing makes the move then. Really nice move down the inside for first position. Kiesig just having the legs on the BMW on Dave Wood. Townsend for Francesconi up to 5th, and Baxar already up to 6th position as well. I can see someone on the map that has started from the pit lane, I believe, for a couple. So I think we do have 31 starters according to this. Alfie, I'm not sure what's happened to Alfie, but Alfie's showing in 31st place now.
Yeah, he was. I did get a latency warning for him, so I wonder if he's had a disconnect.
Yeah, that is Alfie right there in the pit lane. So unfortunately, I think that looks like he's not going to be getting anywhere with that. Unfortunately, after really good qualifying as well. That is a shame.
It's a great pity, because that would. It's always nice to have some people up at the front who will be able to take the fight in. So it's. But we are getting a nice freeway fight here. With Downing leading as they go through Ascari, but Kiesig and Dave Woods aren't giving up behind him.
Yeah, Downing really putting the hammer down early. He's nearly a second ahead already. So obviously trying to break that toe. Monza a big toe track, obviously. If you can break that toe behind you, it will help you out moving forwards. Kiesig in second, already a second behind then, and Dave Wood attached to the back of Christian Kiesig, looking for a move further forwards. I should also point out we've got some of the 2025 cars, so some of them will have position leaderboards on the side as well. So
it's all looking swish. Wonder if
it's all looking very nice.
Hasty livery redesigns.
When we've quietened down a bit, we will move back through the field as well. Just have a look at a few of the Mercedes, because the Mercedes looks glorious, and this really does. So I'm really happy to see that 3 people have moved across to it. So I expect that'll be a challenge early on with working out setups and how the car drives. But yeah, it's settled down quite nicely. We haven't had the same shenanigans that we had last week. We've already had Gilardi in the pit lane. I think that might have been for a drive-through. You might be able to tell me I'm wrong on that one. I think we've also had Polly in the pit lane, or some issue at the start, maybe started from the pit lane, not sure. But those two, everyone's still running. Sipos and Alfie Bevan are the ones who are out. Just out. Matt Townsend has gone for a spin somewhere. So he's dropped way down. The pack being so condensed, that's at the second chicane before the Lesmos. So that's really going to hurt. He doesn't look like he's got any damage.
But, Alfie's game crashed on session transition. That was gutted. That's
awful.
He's posted a photo of the crash message as proof. So it's really worked out for him.
Well, Jusine in chat is saying a relatively calm Monza T1. Yes, aside from that move for the lead, which I think might end up with the stewards after the race, to be honest, with moving on the brakes. Apart from that, I mean, we didn't really see any big issues. So we've learned off Francesconi. I'm trying to get hold of him, and he's pinging down the order so fast I can't click on him.
A really big hit. He's in the pits with no rear wing. It was a very big slide into the wall.
Well, let's see if we can do this and not break it. Let's have a look and see. No. Oh. I'll be like, Sam, I've broken it. So my replays aren't working, so I will chat to tech support after the race.
Oh dear.
Never mind. Yes, I'm not sure. It's very easy to get loose through the parabolica, isn't it? So if it's not called the parabolica anymore. So
they branded the corner now or something.
yes. I can't remember what they've called it, but Poggioni dropping a couple of places there. We just saw a brief yellow flag. I'm assuming that might have been just running wide or a...
Yeah. Very slow down out through Curva Grande, so I think he just got the car a bit loose and had to slow down and let a chunk of people past.
Well, the front five are really kind of breaking away. So Chris Downing out in the lead is 1.7 out in the lead with Dave Wood close behind. But then we've got a gap back to Athol of 3.7 seconds, and then Dan Tomlinson another second behind Athol. So, and then Elvin is kind of the front of this train, which we're seeing right now, a further 3 seconds back. So it looks like the top five are making their move away, and then we've got the big chain. You can see the train of cars behind Elvin. So I don't think Elvin's really slowing them up right now. It doesn't look like they're really hassling him, but you can see the relative pace of all these guys is kind of similar compared to those top five in front.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good little fight there. Elvin's trying to break away. Someone touching into the dust there on the exit of the first chicane. And was just trying to gap Andy Hearn enough that he can't attack him at the moment.
Well, I think Chris Bell's lost a few places since I last saw him, so here he comes in the beautiful. Look at the Mercedes. Oh, not that I'm a fanboy or anything, but it is a glorious car. I'm not sure if he picked up any damage, but he's definitely had a spin, so I may have dropped a few spots since we were last looking at him.
I haven't tried the merge yet. I know they've got the One Make series on the dailies last week, so I haven't given it a go yet, so I might have to give it a little try at some point.
Yes, this is James Cowley, so I'm not sure whether I missed that he had a qualifying ban from the first two races. He may have done, so that would explain why he didn't have a time set. So he's already made up 11 places up to 18th place. So we know after the last few weeks, well, last week he's got pace. Unfortunately, he ended up having a rather large accident in the first week, and did he have a rather large accident this last week as well? I think he did have a rather large accident last week as well, unfortunately. But we know that James has got the pace, so it'll be interesting to see how far up the grid he can get if he gets any further. He's right on the back of Scrub right now, Manders, and making a move up the inside towards Parabolica. Me and Ben are going to call it Parabolica. I don't care what you tell me, it is Parabolica.
You can tell me it's got a brand name all you want. Let's go to make you call it Parabolica even more. Just behind these two, Danny Spiller on the back of Charlie Morgan as well.
Ilse Gecko, thank you very much for the follow, my friend. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying yourself this evening. Yeah, this is Dave right on the back of Charlie. Dave in the reds, oNiD Academy BMW, Charlie in the reds, Lexus. The BMW looking strong again.
It is. It's been described as a really good all-rounder, so it's easy to get used to. Oh, that was a
Lexus smoke. Yeah, that wasn't just me, was it? Maybe.
No, that was on mine as well. That was a tense moment. It's probably more tense than the Matthias Fusgen behind him having to go on the back of Dave Spiller. I've got to stop calling him Danny Spiller. That will happen. That will happen multiple times. He's a former Gillingham midfielder when I used to work there, and that keeps throws me off every time. But,
Ben here with the excellent references tonight, folks.
Literally only I care about that one. But yeah, some really good racing going on at the moment. A lot of these guys will know Monza very well. It's one of the main tracks that gets rotated on LMU, and it's one of obviously the perpetual favourites on ACC. So there's, even with the different sims, there's going to be some crossover knowledge from those two.
Look at these speed points. Matt Townsend obviously up in the top 5 at the start, is making his way through. It looked like Schlink kind of let him go, but he also had a pretty good straight line speed advantage against Slink, and now he's also made the move on Fusgen as well. So I do kind of feel sorry for the Merc drivers, because I remember getting into the Lexus the first week that it came out, and I just felt way off the pace compared to where I'd been before. While you kind of get used to the car, kind of get used to setting up the car as well. So
I've been told that understeer is there in handfuls in the Merc.
Yes,
which makes it my kind of car.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what I said. I was like, oh, that sounds great.
But round Parabolica, when you're trying to get the power down, that's probably going to hurt quite a bit.
This is Andy Hearn on the back of Fran Dorich, I think. Is that in 8th place in the Porsche? A little bit of a cut there. He looked like just a little bit of a lift to make sure he didn't gain any time. Andy having a look around the outside. That's going to be pretty brave if we can get around the back of there. Wow, what a move. Andy committed there. I mean, fair play to Dorich, giving him the space. Dorich already having a good race here, up a few spaces. But Andy Hearn up into a season's best of 8th place right now. Fantastic. And then we've also got Zach right on the back of him as well.
Brilliant around the outside in Lesmo 1. It's not one you see done often. You sacrifice a lot of speed going to the outside there. It's a 90-degree corner, so really nicely done there.
Well, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of these drivers through this race in this big band of cars, because they are driving really well, really close to each other. Zach trying to tie into that. We haven't really seen any car be massively superior in the straights. I think the BMW seems pretty good, but it'll be interesting to see what Zach can do here in the Lamborghini.
Lambo has a decent amount of straight line pace. Pops out the slipstream on Frendoric there.
I think the Porsche's definitely one of the slower cars on the straight, so even with the toe from Andy in front, I mean, Zach's really got a good toe there. He's going to try and go round the outside at turn 1. He hasn't got the overlap. And he's spun. That's not particularly great from Zach there. And Dorich gets spun. I think Dorich has got away with that without too much damage. A little bit of a dink on the front. There's Arian as well behind with a bit of a dink on the front. But yeah, it looked like Zach had just lost that overlap. So the overlap is wheel on wheel here, and then just clip the back of Dorich, unfortunately.
Yeah, that might come back to Horns. It was not the way he'd wanted to get the move done, and he'd want to get through cleanly, because side-to-side damage since the 1.0 release seems to be a little bit heavier and affects the car a bit more. It's much easier to ding your suspension up to the yellow point now. You can drive with it still. It's still reasonably manageable, but you can definitely incur those damages a lot more quickly than you could in some of the earlier builds.
Well, it looks like Petter also got some damage out of that. I don't know if he's been in the wars already, because it looked like he's got a bit of a dink on the left-hand side, but you can see the damage on the front of the car. Obviously, Dorich will have some damage as well, and there's Arian on the front. I'm just going to give Hofsep a shout-out. He's been moaning at me. Well, not moaning. He's been pleading with me for about 4 weeks to have an orange Porsche. So he got one eventually. It's like I have eventually caved, and he can have his orange Porsche. So he's showing that off tonight. Thank you, Offset, for running that tonight. showing that it's worth it doing the custom liveries for people. Semenga making his way back up through. He's up 4 places already. He's got James Cowley on the back of him, who's now up 14 places. It's just so close in this midfield, isn't it? It's really good.
Massive group of cars. The thing is, you can get out front, you can get the move done, but then you're just punching a hole in the air for everyone else. So you are going to be at a disadvantage. And we're seeing people getting close and then swapping those moves. There's Arian coming up on the back of Frame Direction now as they come down in second chicane.
Well, everyone from 9th back to 20th is within a second of the car in front, and none of that rubbish DRS stuff here. This is no DRS train is occurring, just pure racing and slipstream. And we saw in qualifying how close everyone was in that midfield as well, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone about the same on VE as well. It's within a couple of within points of a percentage of each other. Everyone just about 4.5 laps left to go before they absolutely have to pit. It's realistically, it's going to be at the 4-lap mark.
Yeah, so I now can see virtual energy. Thank you, Sam, wherever you are. And I can see virtual energy whenever they cross the line, so I can already see that they're using a lot. I think it's safe to say they're using a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go to a if it turns into a free stop, to be honest.
So a lot of the cars are already, what is that, 40%? 34% over line Chris Downing was. So that gives you an indicator of, well, we've been going for, what, 15 minutes? And this is where I forget how long the races are again. But I'm pretty, we've been going for 15 minutes. I'm probably wrong on that. And maybe 20. And they're already down to 34% across the line. So it's definitely a two-stopper.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if anyone has to do more. But
I think it might end up being more. So it's a 65-minute race. So yeah, I think it's going to be a free stopper at least.
Well, I see a few people are trying to eke out the VE a little bit, but it's so difficult round here with so many flat-out sections. Kiesig across the line used 4% less than Chris Downing. So Mr. Kiesig, who's been our fuel save extraordinaire this season so far, if he's only 4% behind, that kind of tells you he's either not really trying to fuel save or there's just minimal opportunities to be able to do it.
I suppose if you've got a little bit of a gap, you can lift and coast down into the chicanes. Are you really going to be saving enough to make it worthwhile to make sacrificing the time into there?
Well, the best person on fuel at the minute is Anton Semenga, who is the only one who across the line was still at 40%. But then you put it in some context. I'm sure when he crosses the line here, he's going to be about 34%. The worst on the grid is actually Chris Downing and Dave Wood, both in BMWs. So maybe it's a BMW trait, but they've only got a few laps left. They've probably only got 3 laps left. They're using 8.2% a lap compared to Kiesig using 7.5 and Semenga using about the same.
On my telemetry, Chris Downing showing us 2.8 laps of virtual energy left just as he comes round. That's my number 2. So realistically, he's got 2 laps left before he'll have to make his first pit stop.
We've just got a little break in the action for us to actually be able to talk about strategy as Nick Mander's having a look at the back of Charlie. They'll be on the Discord together. Scrub, get him. I don't know where he's going there. He's got it all wrong on the brakes. And he's going to lose a spot here to... Alright, Scrub. Dave Spiller making the move through. So Scrub's going to have a bit of damage on the front right there. It looked like he went to the inside to fake to the outside, but then was applying the brakes while turning, which... Yeah,
that's some broken
yes,
suspension.
that's
He is right hand down.
Is he
there.
very much right hand down? Let's just see if we can have a look.
It's
Oh,
just
it's
a
just
little
a
bit right
smidge
hand
look.
down as it turns left.
Yes.
Is the indicator.
So, left-handers won't be too bad for him. Actually, it will be Ascari as he comes up to Ascari. This is a man. This is a voice of experience. As we've got an instant in front. Is that Browers? That's Browers.
Yeah. Trying to get turned around.
Yeah, I was saying that the voice of experience, having done many endurance races with steering damages, it's actually the way that it's down is usually the hardest to get right because you're suddenly over committing on the steering. Let's see if he pits. He is going to pit. So to be fair to him, he's only a couple of laps away from. He's probably only 2 laps away from his first pit lane visit, and
might as well
he might as well. Yeah, it's just whether he might just be in the window to get away with another stop after this.
He is very left hand down as well, so I don't think that was really an option. He really did need to pit in there.
So Chris Downing is our leader. Chris Downing, by the way, the only driver in the 150. So 150.9 is his best lap this race. Everyone else in 51s to anywhere from 51s to 53s.
Rob and Hovset Nazarian both in the pits as well.
So I'm wondering if they've worked out that they can pit now, try and get out of the traffic and use the undercut to try and make up some places. If they don't change tyres, which I don't think either of us think anyone's going to change tyres, do we?
No, you shouldn't need to. You won't be wearing them enough around here to make it worthwhile.
Even if it's only a couple of seconds in the pit lane for new tyres, I mean, you lose so much on that first lap. Because there's so many straights here, it can take a little bit of time for the tyres to come up to temperature. Obviously, no tyre warmers here, so it is a real decision, not just because of I want new tyres, but also you've got to deal with the longer pit lane time and then the cold tyres on your out lap as well. It can take a couple of laps for them to truly get them up to speed. So
I think there's guys getting these repairs out and then now hoping to come out into. Well, they're hoping to come out into clean air, but Rob's actually getting released right back into the path of the queue that he's just escaped from.
Well, I said that James making the move down on the inside of Petter. Petter letting him go. Petter definitely carrying a bit of damage, and we know how fast James is, so he might try and just follow him round. I'm pretty sure most people are going to be in this lap then. So the only cars which look like they're going to be able to make the extra lap are Christian Kiesig and Anton Temenga. Badej as well, a bit further back, might also be. No, actually, it's a bit too close. It's done 10%. So yeah, there's only 2 cars in the leading pack who haven't done a stop yet that can actually do that extra lap as well. I'm not sure that they've really been saving anything. I think we've kind of determined that lift and coast might not be the way.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a mad rush for the pits now. There's a lot of people already jumping in.
So that's also a benefit of anybody pitting earlier would be. You remember, there's contact in the pit lane on Le Mans Ultimate. So this is going to get quite tasty. This is going to be a race in itself in the pit lane. It's not just getting your strategy right, but it's also going to be making sure that you don't hit anyone. So Christian Kiesig is going to do an extra lap, which he can do because he's still got 8.6% left at the line, and he's using about 7 to 8% a lap, so he can do his extra lap and have a nice clear pit lane. Everyone is diving into the pit lane.
There are a lot of people who were getting very, very marginal on their fuel. Everyone's coming in with about 0.1% left in their VE tank. That was very close.
Where's Anton? I'm just trying to pick him up. So Anton is the other driver who is going to go across the line. He's going to have that extra lap and going to try and enjoy a quieter pit lane for his pit stop. If I dive, who has pitted? Pits. So far we've had. Is it Prigioni is the furthest forward? Is that right? In the Lexus, who's already done a pit stop. He's the furthest forward that's done a pit stop. So let's see where he drives up to. Sorry, I'm just fascinated with all these new buttons I've got. I've got all this data now. It's fantastic. We've been a bit data limited for the last few weeks, haven't we, with them on Ultimate? So it's quite nice. It's quite nice to have all these toys. A lot of cars exiting the pits I can see in front of him. So as Amedeo Pugioni comes over the line, you're going to see a whole queue of cars. That is not how to do a pit exit, whoever he just passed. I think that was Zach Silva, who was way over the right line. So I'm not sure we're going to
definitely get shouted at by
I think that's definitely going to be a shouting at. I don't know whether someone was in the pit lane or not, but you can see that Pugioni's already done his pit stop, and he's back up into 9th position. Polly hasn't done a pit stop either, so I was wrong. There was a third. There was a secret dark horse. Valerio Polly was the other car to do the extra lap.
Chris Downing is not far behind Polly, and in 4th place, and is the first man with his pit stop done. Christian Kiesig is in his box now, so it's going to be how quickly can he get out, and can he get out ahead of Downing?
I think Downing probably. I think Downing had such an advantage, but he's now had a lap of getting up to speed, hasn't he? And with more fuel in the car as well.
He made it looks like he made the decision not to repair the little bit of damage he's got to the front splitter as well, to make absolutely sure he was coming out ahead. Very close though, very close.
Find out why there might have been cars over the white line. I think we've got a Dean Smith parked up against the wall, I'm assuming with some technical issue at the side of the track, so there will be a yellow flag going down the straight, so there are yellow flags in force, so that will mean no active overtaking across that part of the straight until that car is dealt with and he's managed to escape to the pit lane or get running again. That might have explained why I will calm down on shouting at Zach until I've seen the replay afterwards.
The problem is, if he goes back to the turns to garage, it ends his race.
Yes, unfortunately that is a thing. So it's really a sim. You don't get that option for big errors that you do on some other. Obviously, iRacing is quite similar. If you go back to the pits and you've had a big incident, you'll have half an hour of damage. So that penalises you in different ways. But yeah, if you do have a big enough issue, or you do have a technical issue, it can be game over from that point forward. So
absolutely nothing from him in the Discord chat, so I don't know what's going on there.
Fusigan moving up well. Up to 14th place. Basically gone back to the pit, so I would assume that's a technical issue.
Yeah,
forgot to pit maybe.
No, he came in and did his stop. Oh, I am guessing technical on that.
Yeah, I must be. Macca in chat, evening Bens. Yes, thank you very much. We are the Bens. We are here for the rest of the Monday season. Thank you. Yeah, I was just saying, Matthias Fusigan flying. He stopped a little bit earlier than everyone, but it has pushed him right up to 13th position. So excellent from him. He's jumped quite a few places in that pit stop window. Polly came out the pits in 19th. Again, doing well though. Up some. How many positions is up? He's up 12 positions from the start as well. So great run from him. I think Petter repaired some damage. And Anton might have repaired some damage as well. Slightly longer pit stops, and they've dropped a few spots. Temenga with a 1 minute pit stop, so 1 minute 10 seconds.
That's definitely a little bit of damage repaired on that one.
Hofset and Dietmanders as well with over 1 minute pit stops. So you can see that some have had to repair themselves after some shenanigans.
But the battle has resumed, I think. However, Kiesig is a little bit closer than when they went into the pits. But even if you cancel the repair on the car, it takes a few seconds for that to register, so that might have delayed
Yes.
Danny and getting out.
Jamal, Janelle, thank you very much for the follow, Jamal. Hope you're enjoying the racing tonight. Ben, I've got some fun because I was looking. We've got all this new information. I can see who's got the fastest top speed. There are 4 cars which have made 270k down the straight. James Cowley, Johnny Ashley, Matt Townsend, and Max Farrell. So that's not even 4 of the same car. That is 4 totally different cars. A McLaren, a BMW, a Ford, and a Lambo. It's, I'm the inside of James. That's not how we do that. I'm trying to work out who that was at the end. Was that Andy just getting himself... No, it was Andy.
Yeah, Andy Hearn.
So that was Andy, Cowley, and... I'm trying to work who that... Was it? It wasn't James. It was Zach, yes. It was Zach, yes. Yeah. Sorry, they're both in... Get custom liveries, boys. I can't. So that was,
For
yeah.
the love of God, get custom
So I'm not sure. I wasn't really looking, if I'm honest. My eye was on the other stats screen, but it looked like Andy just outbraked himself and hit the back of Zach as Zach was making a move on Frandorich, I believe. So everyone has survived, thankfully, and they have continued on unabated.
We have indeed. And we're now looking at another 8 laps until their next pit stop. So what, about 15 minutes? So it's going to... They're all going to be pushing really hard. It's a series of sprints, this one. They're not going to get away with being able to try and back off and find space. They're just having to all go hell for leather. It's exactly what we want, frankly.
Well, it just mixes it up a little bit because it does what it does mean. I prefer some of the strategy and the fuel saving. Some people don't like that, but it mixes it up for the series so that some tracks will be more pure speed, some will really be looking after the tyres, looking after the fuel. We've got Max with what I would assume is a technical error, a technical issue, because again he's a very weird place of the track to have had an incident. Doesn't it look to be any damage on the car? So what's he broken?
It looks like he's got no throttle.
Yeah, so
yeah, that has all the hallmarks of the disconnect. There we go.
Oh dear. So we've lost a few, not through crashes then, but we've lost Sipos out somewhere as well. I'm not entirely sure where. I didn't see that one pop up. So we've had 4 retirements. Alfie Bendy and Smith, Christian Sipos, who obviously has been towards the front of the last 2 races, so it's a bit of a shame. And now Max Farrell as well.
Sim racing version of mechanical attrition. If their internet has let them down, but
can you tell Formula One what mechanical attrition is? Because I don't think they really understand that anymore, do they?
It would have made yesterday a bit more entertaining, that's for sure. Going to upset people again, aren't we?
You're going to upset me having to rethink about it as Petter makes the move around the outside of Valerio Poli. Anton Semenga now with a fresh car and no damage is also catching these 2 up. Yeah, the less we speak about F1 in its current state, I think the better at the minute. If you want some good racing, just come here and watch this, because it's going to be better than whatever F1 can put on at the minute. Also, we run in the rain, so screw you, FIA. These comments are brought to you by Ben and not the official the official stance of oNiD Racing.
They'll say, oh, it's going to be terrible visibility in the wet, and we go, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's all the wet tyre memes for me, Ben. If you've ever felt pointless and useless in your life, just remember that wet tyres exist in Formula 1.
trying to close down the Jellyneck.
Oh, that Lambo is pretty quick down the straights, isn't it? Andy catching, but right at the end of the straight, even with a full toe all the way down, he's not going to try and outbrake him around the outside. He's going to try and tuck in and make the move later on. That Lambo, Zach, very quick down the straights there.
Yeah, it's quick down the straight. It's really nimble in the corners as well. It's quite finely balanced. You can oversteer it, but it just feels very nice to move through corners. It's like conventional logic says that a Lamborghini is just going to be an oversteery bunch of chaos. Oh, Fandoric is off, but so that gives a place back to these two. But yeah, the LMU Lambo is surprisingly well balanced for what you expect from it.
It used to be one of the two cars of choice for me on ACC for endurance races, but it did occasionally come with a load of oversteer on corner exit when you weren't expecting it, and you just go missiling towards a wall, which was all. It kept us on our toes. Let's say, let's just say that. But it does look a lot more planted in LMU, which from my reading of articles and stuff is a lot more realistic to what it is in real life. It's not really even though it is a mid-engine car, it is actually very planted. So that kind of shines through. Although there's no 2025 version, which is an absolute scandal that thing is not in WEC or anywhere like that. It's a 2025 car for me, but it should be back next year with a new, the updated car, isn't it? So.
Yes, that I can't remember the name of.
No, I can't remember the name of either. So.
Because they keep coming out with names with fairly hard to pronounce names, and I struggle with English. Never mind, never mind Italian.
That's what you get for a Gillingham fan. Anyway, Valerio Poli having a look up the inside here of Semenga having a look up the inside of Polly there for 18th position, makes the move, but that will allow Polly to have a look back down on the straight. How quick is the Mustang? Well, the Mustang was really planted out of Ascari, so out of Parabolica, sorry, God, get that name wrong. Yeah, look at the Mustang go.
Yeah, if he can stick in the slipstream, he'll probably get the BMW will probably be a bit better under braking. That said, Semenga really dialed in there. Got it nicely turned in as well.
Yeah, Anton definitely. He's got that planted on the brakes at turn one. Must be running really front for a brake bias. And absolutely slammed it and got it stopped. That's about as good as I've seen on the brakes at turn one, to be honest.
Absolutely, Valerio probably really having to attack the curbs to try and just keep within that touching distance. But it's one of the cars you can attack the curb with, as the BMW. Fairly well balanced itself, but it just doesn't seem to be able to catch up to the two in front.
No, it's definitely, since the pit stops, it has. We've seen some gaps stretch out, quite a few cars repairing damage and falling out of the pecking order and working their way back further forwards. We've already got some cars hitting 50% on their virtual energy then, so we're not going to be too far away from the next round of pit stops. Chris Downing leading the way by 3 seconds, and Kiesig then, Dave Wood in third, a further 5 seconds back. Bascar up to fourth, so somewhere we've seen a little swap around, and Dan up in fifth in the Lexus. No, sorry, Dan's in the McLaren. I get confused. Dan's always in the McLaren, and then on Thursdays he's in something else. I can't remember, the Mustang or something. I can't remember, but I just get so confused. I'm just like, Dan's always in the McLaren, then I see him in another series and he's not in it when it's on offer. Just.
Today, Chris Downing has stretched the gap by a couple of seconds at the front. It's really. It's not a massive amount, but it's just going to be enough, and it might just be enough to offset whatever fuel saving Christian Kiesig is doing to get them through to the next pit stop.
Yeah, so that's a good
still
point.
About a lap's worth of difference between them.
I'm assuming if Kiesig can do the same again, where he adds an extra lap onto this stint, he's going to have to put 2 laps less fuel into the car. So that will be some time saving in the pit stop. So as long as he gets his calculations right, of course. So that should bring him a couple of seconds closer. So he just needs to try and get a little bit closer to Downing before the pit stops, so that he can, use that to his benefit, really. A yellow flag was showing there, but I'm not entirely sure why. So that's just confirming that Max is retired.
I'm not seeing anyone stopped on track,
No.
so I think it's probably just someone having an off. Another very brief flash of one there, but as quickly as they flash it, it's gone away again. So everyone's just I'd say everyone's sort of settling, but that's probably a lie. Everyone's just trying to chase down people around them.
Yes, so it's settled in terms of there's not a 15-car train of cars all going down the straight together, but you can see down the grid there's definitely some faster drivers and some slower drivers kind of closing up to each other, so plenty of time here, 25 minutes with another pit cycle, and plenty of time for drivers to catch up on each other. Anton on the back of Petter here is the it was the closest on the track. We've got James Cowley right on the back of Van Dorich, 10th and 11th, and Andy Hahn is now basically in Zach Silver's Lamborghini. Zach does have a little bit of damage on the front, I think.
He's got damage on the front the right,
back,
and
yeah.
the back. Treating it like a touring car, so it's clearly going well for him. We do have Dean Smith in the chat as well, saying his game absolutely went to hell on him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dean.
Gutted, mate.
Hopefully he'll be back fighting next week. Always shows up, does Dean, so that's a shame.
To the inside, it was very close on the brakes there.
He was having a little think about it, wasn't it?
If you let off the brakes just slightly, must have absolutely scared the hell out of Zach. The Lamborghini was turning in front of him, so there wasn't really anywhere to go. He had to slam back on to avoid it.
This is James Cowley on the back of Dorridge, just slightly down the road from Zach and Andy's fight. Just to say that Athel did a 1:57.6 last lap, which is about 5 seconds slower than he has been doing. So he's lost 5 seconds to Dave Wood in front and has put himself under a bit of pressure to 5th and 6th. Dan and Elvin not too far behind him now. So I think we found the cause of the yellow flag that flashed up. That would probably have just been a slight outbreak or a little bit loose and just collecting up a little bit of gravel.
Yeah. Dave's on a bit of an island on his own at the moment. He's got 5 seconds to the car in front and about 5 seconds to the car behind. So he's just moving along without really being able to get anywhere.
I think after the first week where his race lasted his realistic race lasted 3 corners before he was 2 laps down, and last week where he injured his back, so he was in the comms booth with us. I think he'll be very happy to have a nice quiet race, sat in 3rd position. Yeah, he'll be very happy with that.
He's not carrying any damage, touch wood, but until
plenty of time.
Yeah, he's just able to crack on at the moment.
James has just dropped off the back of Friend Dorich, and that's put him in the reaches of Matt Townsend, with one of the other drivers coming back through the pack after an incident on lap 1, and obviously James starting at the back. Both of these have had to come back from the rear of the grid. They're on 11th and 12th respectively, and Townsend looking very, very good on the pace. It'll be interesting to see if he can close up at all. He's 6/10 behind, but just how good is the slipstream? We've got our first hitter. It's Pugioni. Should be able to get to the end from here, but he's they've decided to pit now.
That's slightly early. I think that was come in and get yourself out of the traffic.
Yeah, they did pit slightly early in the first stint, I think, but they had a lap left in Virtual Energy there, so they have pitted a lap earlier than we anticipated. You can see Townsend closed up about 0.2 in the slipstream down the straight and on the brakes, so good pace from these two. Good to see that they're still running after some issues in the last couple of races for James, and Matt really pushing. James isn't going to give him that, so he covers the inside and first left side. Those are the Lesmos, aren't they? I'm not going mental.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I haven't got my track map in front of me. They're just coming up. Is that Andy who's just had a little?
Andy Hearn, he's dropped.
Yeah, Andy's had a little bit of a moment and there's dropped behind Fran Dorich. So James is going to have a look down the inside. I think Matt might try and follow him. No. Oh, now he thinks about it. It's all a bit late in the day there. That's going to close very quickly. But we saw how quick the BMW was down the straight. Andy just running a little bit wide. And Andy, the track's over here. Where are we going? He's basically letting, I think he's letting a Matt through. These two definitely on leader pace.
I feel that was like I was looking at the Mills moment.
Yes. Well, this is the first time I've looked at Elvin today. Elvin has retired from causing a start-finish crash, and from last week. Whether it was a penalty or not, he was definitely the first car to clip someone else. But it's the first time we've seen it this week, and very solid drive from him. No issues, no damage on that car, and he's caught up to Dan Tomlinson. They will both be in this lap, so whether he wants to be that close behind someone as they pit, with a fear of running into the back of someone as they enter the pit lane, is another matter. But he's really given the hurry on down to Dan now. So this lap, the leader will be in. Christian Kiesig will continue on for at least another lap, probably 2 laps.
I think he hasn't actually requested his pit stop.
I think they changed that now. So I don't think you have to request your pit stop anymore. Otherwise, to those that don't know, if you didn't request it before, it would delay your pit stop. Your pit stop would be a couple of seconds slower, but I believe they've changed that.
Presumably as your invisible pit crew ran out to the
yes,
pit box.
I always quite liked it on R Factor 2, to be fair. I thought it was a good feature. As both of these guys are going to come into the pit lane, and no shenanigans into the pit box. So Kiesig then is our leader then for now. He crossed the line, 17% energy, so he can do his 2 laps here with 18 minutes to go. He's got 2 more laps and then he can pit for a splash with fuel towards the end. What do you reckon that? He was still about 4 seconds behind, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite going to be enough unless he goes full hammer time here. And
yeah, it's the only thing I can think of that will get him, and the problem is that might have thrown off his figure in the fuel readout. So that might be what it would be if he's fuel saving. So it's. He's got the chance, but he's got to. I think he's really going to have to pedal to the metal now to try and make the time up.
Well, Baskar has managed to do an extra lap, which that's something I didn't notice. I'm not entirely. How did he manage that?
No idea.
He's managed that. He must have been super close on the first stint, or he's just decided to. Save a little bit of fuel, but yeah, he's managed to make up an extra lap. Downing in 3rd, Dave Wood rejoins in 4th position, Anton Semenga in 5th is yet to pit with enough. He'll be in at the end of this lap.
Apple Bascott is having to absolutely coast
he
around the parabolic.
He was really close.
1.6% energy.
He's coming up to the pits now, so he should be fine. That'll be a bit closer than he wanted it to be, I think.
Well, that's it. If you came in on 1.2% energy and 0 lap, you'd take exactly as planned. You'd take that all day long.
Yeah, 1.2% there into the pit lane. Okay, well that's one way to do it. Oh, Christian then has run into a bit of traffic. This is all lap traffic. Rachel Van, thank you very much for the follow. I'm sorry I'm butchering some pronunciations of names tonight, but do bear with me. Christian Kiesig then, this isn't what he wanted. He's got a lot of traffic in. He's in this lap, but he wanted really to be putting the hammer down, and he's having to work for it through some... If they do get out the way promptly, which we should say they're not exactly... It's not F1 rules. They're not supposed to just throw themselves out the way, but he should be able to benefit from a bit of the tow he's getting around this lap. But then on the other hand, if he's getting slowed up, then he's going to lose a little bit of time there.
Definitely getting slowed up. He's down 1.5 seconds on his best.
So this is the downside.
Surely these guys have got to be in... No, Cowley's pitted. So these three in front of him are all pitted, so they're not going to get out of his way or be in his direction when he comes into the pits, but
well, that explains why he wasn't able to easily get past, because obviously James is extremely quick. We can see that from the timings, that his fastest lap is only his fastest lap is only a tenth of Kiesig's fastest lap, so that might have helped a little bit, but it could have been some of the early traffic that really slowed him down. So this is Christian Kiesig in the pit lane. Chris Downing was apparently stationary for 38 seconds, which seems quite a long time for me.
Yeah, it's not repair damage.
No.
So he has definitely got enough to get into the end from the looks.
And yeah, that's 24 seconds stationary here. So if Chris's stop was that long, you can see he's still back coming up towards Parabolica, and Christian is rejoining the track. How has he managed to do this?
He's only taken 63%, well, 64% VE. I'm not convinced that's enough.
Yeah, so...
It's a 1 minute 50 lap. There's 14 minutes left.
I think Chris just automatically just filled it. He was very close for the extra lap, I think. So, I think he's filled it, which explains why it was such a long amount of time in the pit lane. It was the same amount of time as his first stop.
It's going to be very tight on fuel at the end. If this is another Kiesig masterclass where he's managed to get the fuel calculations exactly right, then we'll hail him as a hero. If he has actually got them wrong, we will mock him.
Well, he's made up that much time. He could... He's 9 seconds up the road. He could have even put a bit more in. So I'm not sure. We'll see when they come over the line the next time. Although I think you can probably see it right now. But my sheet will update when they come across the line. But at the line, Chris will have about 70% left to do 13 minutes. So Cowley up to 8th after that pit stop. Matt Townsend has had a little bit of an off somewhere, I think, and just dropped a couple of spots at turn 1. Where he was just trying to put a move on Andy Hearn, not sure, but he's just lost out a little bit of time there.
Black Silver crawling over the back of James Cowley.
Yeah, the two, just to confuse me, the two yellow Lambos. Thanks, guys. They are slightly different liveries, but yeah, Zach doing well up to 9th in this one. The front pack remains largely the same. Fran Dorich doing a good job, but up to 7th now. He's kind of survived some of the contacts and things that he's had earlier, and has done really well in building up to 7th place, so that's really good pace from him. Chris Downing then is still 9 seconds off Christian Kiesig. I think we're going to see Matt have a little look at Andy down towards the Parabolica. What he might do is just try and make him cover the inside here, and then if he can't send it, he's not trying to send it, look, he's going to try and get the run through onto the straight. We have just lost the first death at Ascari. Charlie Morgan and Alexis is backwards. It looks like he's just got... Well, he's quite a long way down the road.
Yeah.
He made it quite a long way down there. I don't think that would be contact.
He's lost quite a bit of suspension though as well.
So he's had a good whack on that wall then.
Very right hand down.
So that is, as we thought, Matt Townsend makes the move on Andy Hearn down at turn 1. The BMW looking very strong, and Matt's hands are back up to 10th position. A good comeback from him into the top 10. So we've only got 10 minutes left. How many laps have we got then? What, 6 laps?
6 laps. Chris Downing has closed.
Oh, significantly.
2 seconds. With the since they came out of the pits, it's going to be. I think he's going to be very close, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to overtake remaining.
No, I think if he's average, if he needs 6 laps from 56 VE head of the line, that's quick math. That's what, 9 VE a lap. So Christian Kiesig's been running under 8% usage a lap all race, so he should be able to get to the end as long as there's only 6 laps. We'll find out soon when he crosses the line and then it flashes up. I think he should be fine here. He's halfway around the lap.
Usage on phone is 8.28% a lap for Kiesig, so it's he should just about make it, but it's going to be. They are burning through the energy behind him to try and catch up, that's for sure. And they've got the energy to burn it. Has Kiesig given him enough margin if he does have to pick up the pace? He can actually go for it.
Yeah, the interesting is it comes along across the line of he's going to be very close to an extra lap, you know. Oh, is this an incident in the background? I've seen a wing come off. I think no, it wasn't offset. It was Mr. Scrub. So there was 2 cars side by side. I think it might have been Chris Bell and Manders maybe, or Schlink, sorry, in one of the Mercedes. But hopefully Nick knows that he hasn't got a rear wing.
He's running a very low aero configuration.
Yes, as long as he, I think he has realised. Otherwise he could have quite easily missiled into Dave Wood there, who we haven't really seen much of. He's been, as you said earlier, very, very quiet. We've also got Polly off as well. This is a separate incident. This is at... Where is this?
Yeah, that's...
I can't see on the circuit map where that is. Is that turn 1?
I can't tell from these on.
Yes.
From his on
Yes, there it is.
That is a... Yeah, I don't think he had much choice.
No, I don't think he did. I think either it's a technical issue or he's absolutely smashed into a wall there at turn 1 or turn 1, turn 2 kind of area.
His rear suspension was flashing red, which means it is gone. So I think that was pretty much... Didn't really have a choice there, especially for a rear-wheel drive car as well.
Yeah, and we've also got another BMW going around with no rear wing. Who is that? Is that Dave? There, Dave Spiller then is also running the wingless configuration. He's fully got rid of that rear wing off that BMW. So
not slowing down though.
No,
he's realised.
I think he has realised because he let Kiesig through quite easily. Is it me or does that BMW actually look nice without the rear wing on it? It's actually quite nice. Can we have a wingless version like the Peugeot Hypercar, please? Because that looks really nice, actually. But not the fastest way around the track for Dave Spiller. Maybe we can assume that him and Polly might have had some issue at turn 1. Given that... yes, please go in the pit lane. He is carrying on. So, is he thinking there's 6 minutes left? Oh no! The lag spike!
Oh!
Did you see that lag spike?
Yeah,
that is absolutely huge!
That's still going.
Schlink, there's no chance of him avoiding that. I mean, Absolutely no chance.
No.
He's missing a wheel. He's missing the rear wing. If you can get that back round, Christian, we're going to have to get you a prize, because that is a ridiculous accident. That's nothing to do with Dave not having a rear wing. That is some form of game issue. Wow.
Yeah, I don't really object to taking the got through there.
I'm going to try and do the replay and see if I can finally get it to work for the first time, because that is absolutely ridiculous.
Spectacular.
Is it going to do it? Oh, look! Oh my God! It's a bit late, but Jesus! Wheel off. That is absolute. Well, it's a 10, isn't it? It's a 9.8 or a 10 or something. That's absolutely crazy.
I mean, it just didn't quite stick the landing. But,
no, I can't go and show you how that caused. But if someone can clip it and post it up in the Discord, basically Dave was stationary for about a second there because of lag, and yeah, that's what's happened. And
the admin won't watch party post race is going to definitely feature that one.
Yeah, I am worried. There was a wheel in the middle of the straight. I don't know if you saw that in the background. That Dan Tomlinson had to drive round. So.
And it stays as a physical piece on track.
I'm a bit worried. I'm going to try and see if we can.
I think it has been cleared now by the looks of it.
So Dave is trying to finish without a rear wing, which actually isn't the worst idea I've actually seen because of how long it would take. So the wheel has gone, thankfully. There's no rear wheel in the front wheel in the middle of the track. So Dave is trying to get to the end because it would be a couple of minutes in the pit lane, wouldn't it, for a rear wing change? So at least a minute stationary. So if it's not slowing him down that much and he knows about it and he's taking it carefully, which he is, he's got Johnny catching him in 21st, and that might be it. Actually, I think. So. No! There he goes. Oh, wow.
That was a bit close.
And
scrub went off.
Somebody check the rule book, see if you can continue with your car in such a state. There is. I'm not sure if we've got a rule about that, to be honest.
I'm not sure we've ever needed.
I don't think we've ever needed one.
Scrub, I think got caught off guard there and is now very broken in the sand trap there.
Well, it looks as if there is 2 laps left for Christian. I think
lost his engine.
Oh no! Oh. He must have really, because I saw him avoid it. He must have just lost the rear end. And let's have a little look while I just now that the replay button appears to be working again. I mean, it's missing the start of the thing, but he's trying to avoid a spinning car. He's going to get it loose. Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty big accident, especially with the angle he went into the wall there.
It started moving, then it just looks like the engine's just given up on him.
So Kiesig crossed the line with 18% left, with 2 laps to go. So he. Oh wait. 3. Wait. No, it's just he's just coming through. No, it's 2 laps to go. It was 2 laps to go. So I was thinking there for a second he was a bit further around the track than I thought. But so it looks like Christian Kiesig is on for his second victory as long as he can keep it nice and clean for these last 2 laps. He's got plenty in hand, and Chris Downing is still 7.8 seconds behind.
Yeah, unless something happens to Christian, I don't think he's going to close that gap at this point. Christian is still fuel saving. He's not 100% sure. He definitely doesn't want to end up with an extra lap.
No, he's got the time behind him, hasn't he? He's still maintaining a really good pace. 8-second gap behind to Chris, and 18 back to Dave Witt. So our podium's pretty much set in stone at this point, as long as nobody does anything silly or we don't have any more lag spikes. And Scrub didn't have force feedback, apparently. I mean, there's no fair play for getting as far into the race without force feedback, because that is not fun.
Yeah, that's an hour and a bit without FFP.
Yes,
I would not-
absolutely fair play. And that
Yeah.
explains why you lost it as well, because that change in speed with no force feed, the change in direction of that speed with no force feedback. I think neither me or Ben would have saved that, would we? I wouldn't have saved it.
Not a chance. Oh, God, yeah, it's horrible. I've had force feedback. Worst feeling on the planet.
So Christian Kiesig then is starting his last lap. We've got James Cowley right on the back of Fran Dorich. This is James working for his way from the back of the grid, looking to try and pick up a 7th position. Dorich with a very solid display, even with damage all the way through the race after that incident we saw in the first stint. That wasn't his fault. He's done really well.
James skipping quali every week. If this is the performance he's going to put in,
don't say that, because it was a quali ban. It wasn't skipping it, so don't give him any ideas. The stewards won't want to hear us say things like that. Thank you very much. As they've just come around the parabolica towards the line for their last lap. Dorich using all the track available on the outside, trying to get up on the throttle as early as possible, but James is absolutely hooked in then. Cowley's going to have a look either side. Is Fran Dorich going to defend it? He is holding the inside line, so he's forcing Cowley onto the outside. As we arrive into the braking zone, both very competitive on the brakes to each other, but Dorich making it stick on the inside. Lovely braking, and that's bringing Matt Townsend into this as well behind. This is now officially the last lap of the race.
Indeed, these guys have been fighting from what everyone has been fighting for the entire length. There has not been much in the way of backing off on this one.
No, exactly. A race of attrition. We've had 6 retirements, a few tech issues and a few incidents, but Christian Kiesig with his 2nd win of the season, a masterclass in how to look at getting your strategy absolutely bang on. He got his fuel perfectly right, saved a lot of time in that last stop, put in the laps, and brings home the victory. Chris Downing then, a solid P2 for him, another consistent finish for him. And Dave Wood with his first podium of the season. Very quiet race for him. Athol Baskar coming through in another solid performance. Top 4s in all races, including a race win, and Dan Tomlinson in 5th. Let's quickly whiz. We've got James has just lost it. He's pushing too much through Ascari. They're going to come down. So Fran Dorich in front looks like he's probably going to be able to hold on to 7th position. Matt Townsend's going to have a look at the outside of Cowley. These two have been close all race. Very deep on the brakes. Can Townsend mop it up? Doesn't quite. He's not going to quite have enough. Just a little bit too deep on the outside. He's going to get super close to the back of Cowley here across the line with that run out of the last corner, but can't quite make it. So Cowley coming home 8th, with Matt Townsend 9th, and Andy Hearn bringing home in the top 10. What a race!
Just ahead is Max Silver, and those two have been fighting each other all race.
Well, a big shout out as well. We'll talk about it when I've got the standings up in front, but in front of us. But the kind of distinctive thing to look at is some of the cars that have made their places up. So let's have a look at the. Oh no, that is the wrong button. That is the correct button. So. These are our standings then from that. You know, it says current standings. I'm sorry, but you'll have to deal with it. Our final standings, the timings on the right hand side won't be correct, but obviously Christian Kiesig coming home in 1st place. Chris Downing with a 2nd place, very solid. Dave Wood, Athol Baskar, and Dan Tomlinson, as we said. But then Elvin, nice quiet race in 6th place. Fran Dorich, very busy, got some damage early, lost a few places, but what came back up to 7th, and I think he's one of our biggest winners in terms of positions, up 5 places. James Cowley up 20 places into 8th position. Matt Townsend overall losing 3 spots, but I mean finishing 9th after being effectively last after a spin or an incident on the first lap is excellent from him. Andy Hearn in 10th, finishing where he started. Then we've got the next page. Zach Silver in 11th. Anton Semenga, again, with Petr Jelinek 13th. So those two had damage and worked their way back up through the field after having to do a bit of a repair job in the middle of the race. Hovset Nazarian up to 14th. Amadeo Prigioni, Matthias Fusigan, the first of the new in-series Mercedes. Charlie Morgan in 17th. Chris Bell in 18th. Fabio Gallardi in 19th. Johnny having a few issues in the Mustang, finishing 20th. I think that's fair to say. I don't think we saw it, but did see him have a pretty significantly long stop at one point. Olaf Badej 21st, David Francesconi in 22nd, Dave Spiller without the rear wing. I think eventually he had to cave and pit after that spin. 23rd, Florian Browers in 24th, Christian Schlink, the last of our finishers, in 25th. Then our DNF was Nick Manders with the big crash, Valerio Poli, Max Farrell, Dean Smith, Christian Sipos, and Alfie Bevan did not make the start due to a game crash. What race, Ben? What? I don't really know what to say after that.
Genuinely didn't know where to look. There was so much going on right up and down. And it's been a bit like that for the whole championship so far.
Yes.
These guys are just racing tooth and nail.
Yeah, it's been extremely close all season. It's good to see so many people competing up and down the grid. Nice close action. I know. Last week we did have the start incident, but apart from that, it's been very fair racing for the vast majority of it. Not many penalties coming out from stewards after races as well, which is great to see. And yeah, it's really interesting to see the strengths and weaknesses of different cars and different drivers at different tracks, because definitely a bit of a mix-up in terms of pace this week, because we've seen Dave up in third, showing what he can do when he's not in a wall or crippled, and Dan Tomlinson up in fifth as well in that race. So Fran Dorich as well up in seventh. So those three, for instance, a lot higher up than we've seen for the rest of the season, for a variety of reasons. It's really good to see how competitive it is.
Absolutely, but right now, I've got to say, Christian Kiesig is looking very, very difficult to beat out there. I have to see whether or not anyone else can rise to.
Yeah, I think obviously from from a pace point of view, Sipos has been extremely strong in those first two races. Not sure if he started this one or couldn't start for some reason, but he's non-finisher here, so this will be a drop round for him. Kiesig looking very strong with 2 first places and a second, really showing everyone how to do it in terms of getting both pace and the strategy with the fuel usage right. I think Athol Baskar and Chris Downer will be very close in behind Christian in the standings now. So yeah, it's Christian's the one to beat. Christian's the one to beat. So excellent. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us on a Monday. Our next stream will be next week, obviously on Monday. With round 4, but we've got a few other streams through the week. Tomorrow is round 3 of the British Stock Cars. Where are we tomorrow, Ben?
We are at Donington National,
and
which is one I'm particularly looking forward to.
You might have a guest in the race tomorrow. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Because I might be free. So, and I joked about this, that I was going to try and make a guest appearance. So tomorrow might be the day.
Always welcome.
Always welcome. Thank you. But no, then on Wednesday we've got as ever, we've got round 3 of the Academy. That will also be matched. The Sim Hound Academy on Wednesday matches the same track, so they will be doing Monza as well, although I think they might be doing the Curva Grande layout, just because. Then on Thursday it's iRacing GT3s at Long Beach. If you really want to see some carnage this week, that's going to be the one. And I love Long Beach, but I'm going to struggle with getting a GT3 round there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember, to those that don't know, one of the best events for me that I've ever raced in was our F3 at Long Beach, which was one of Ben's brainchild, I think. wasn't it? Was it on
It-
AC, wasn't it?
It was on AC. It was,
What a track, but F3s are a lot more nimble than GT3 cars. So we'll see how that goes. And then on Sunday, again at Interlagos, we'll have the 100 Series 2, the 100 minutes of Monza. So I'll see you next week. Thank you very much for joining me as ever, Ben. And
always a pleasure.
yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.